Hey guys, welcome to Lovin Meets with Jelena Petelinkar. She is a personalized health coach and she spoke about how personalized approach can actually change your life.
Now, this is an interview you do not want to miss. So do not forget to subscribe to the Lovin Meets podcast wherever you get your podcasts from. And as always, don't forget to enjoy the interview.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Today's guest is certified health coach Jelena Petelinkar, who dedicates herself to promoting wellness through personalized treatments and a balanced approach to mind and body. Join us as we explore holistic healing. Guys, it is wet and raining and she has made it to the studio, so we are more grateful than ever to a guest for coming into here. Thank you so much. Welcome to the show, Jelena.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me on this beautiful rain. It was actually a pleasure to come here on the rain because now everyone is home, so we can dive deep into this topic.
Exactly, 100%.
I love holistic healing, but if you can just give us a brief on holistic healing, what is it, and so on.
Beautiful. So holistic healing has a different, I can say, technologies or approaches. I would like to talk more about what is functional medicine in holistic healing. Functionality of our body, it works through pathways. We need to understand how our body works in deep side of pathways, how our function of cholesterol works, how our stress works, how our body is connected to environment, and how we're impacting our body's health with environmental toxins, with the food we are eating, with stress, emotional, mental, sleep, not sleeping, inflammation in our body. If we educate ourselves on a deep level how our body really functions, we're able to cure the root cause of disease. Meaning, functional medicine focuses on curing the root cause, not the symptoms. So we're not suppressing the symptoms with the medications, we're actually curing the root cause with certain environmental exposures, which is your food, your functional nutrition with what you're feeding your body, workouts you're doing to actually increase your oxytocin, your dopamine, your whole body is actually strengthening from within. So 3 components of holistic health is stress management, food you're eating, inflammation reduction, and understanding your body on a relationship with the environment, or we call it epigenetics. So if I know what am I doing with the nature, or am I going against my nature, I'm able to heal the root cause, not to suppress the symptom with medications.
So interesting, and thank you. That is a very good overview. And we're coming at it from different angles because Farah is a big supporter. I know nothing about it. So from my side, is this something that I can Google and learn and understand, or should I go to a certified health coach to help me heal?
It's such a good question because at the moment we're Googling our symptoms and we're getting diagnosed from Mr. Dr. Google. So I really want to first say to people, please go to certified functional medicine practitioner or functional nutritionist to actually test it. We have functional medicine tests at the moment, their future. What are we doing? We are preventing a disease. We're not waiting anymore to get to the disease so we can actually manage a disease. So healthcare is not healthcare. We are actually curing a disease when it happens. What I want for everyone to understand that we're able to find imbalances before we go into a disease of our body. So if we can test with the functional medicine testing, is that a stool test, our hormonal test. We can see how our hormones are interacting with each other. Understanding perimenopause, menopause, estrogen dominancy in men, low testosterone. We can test all these with urine test, with stool test, with a blood test. With the functional medicine, we're looking the ranges a little bit differently than a conventional medicine. We're looking before disease happened. Meaning, if I'm on the edge of B12, which is like a 500, that means I'm actually in good position. But conventional medicine says it's 200. So we are looking a little bit differently the functional medicine ranges in the blood test. We are looking imbalances before disease happen. So if you want to know more about educating yourself on a functional medicine view, please go to a health practitioner who is certified in that specific area, so he can explain you everything.
So my mother all the time tells me that, Farah, back in our day, we didn't have all of the diseases that you guys have. And I go like, yes, mom, that's true. Because you don't live the life that our generation lives right now, which is a lot of stress. You know what I mean? Like at my age, my mom did not have the, responsibility that I do right now. And she just goes like, what, Farah, that's different. I'm like, yeah, even the food that you were eating was organic and it was different.
100%.
So how would you say that the understanding of stress, like the fact that like the older generation do not really understand quite well how stress really relates to a lot of diseases. So what would you suggest is like a technique that a person in my generation, or as well, like not only in my generation, anyone who lives in this time and era can manage stress in order to avoid and heal?
Beautiful question. And I will as well understand your mom, because in those times, our food was not full of pesticides, herbicides, toxins, and emulsifiers, emulgators, and colors. So as well, we need to understand that we're living in the era of modern world where everything is quick, everything is on the doorstep, and you don't know what is in your food as well, which causes inflammation. Later on, we can talk about that. But what can we do as a quick tip, you can say, to reduce stress? Firstly, you need to understand yourself. If I don't have a relationship with my body, I will be in my mind. Meaning, if anxiety comes to my body, because anxiety comes to the nervous system, your neural pathways are working on the nervous system pathway. If I'm eating sugar, if I increase my insulin, I spike my brain function really fast and I don't spend it in the workout, I'm in my head. I need to move the energy. So if I'm looking at the mental clarity, number one is food. You need to start your day with the protein and good fats. Why? Your brain is made from good fats, omega-3s, and amino acids. If I take sugar in the morning, croissant and coffee, I spike my adrenals, I spike my insulin levels, and I get so hyper and I feel I'm on top of the world. After 2 hours, you're hungry, you want more sugar. So we're in a spiral of glucose consistently going up and down, and we're stressing ourselves in our brain thinking, what is wrong with me? It's actually the food impacting every single pathway in your brain, in your stress levels, in your nervous system, how you interact with other people as well, in relationship to others, your partners, your mother and father. So food is number one. Second thing is, how are you talking to yourself? I have clients coming to me, is actually, when I put them in front of the mirror, they criticize their body. They constantly shame their bodies. They're constantly talking badly about their organs, about my body's failing me. My body is overweight and is gaining weight. I can't lose weight. And they're constantly bashing their bodies. So I want to really take you into that consideration. Hey, how am I thinking about my body? Catch every thought captive and question it. Where is it coming from? Is it from my mother, from my father, from my childhood trauma? Because if you don't catch your thought captive, they will create emotion inside of you. And if you don't know how to express the emotion, is that through the workout? Is that through maybe just jumping up and down? Is that maybe trampoline jumping? Or going for a walk, workout, yoga, Pilates, whatever feels right for you. But you need to know how to express the emotion through the body so it doesn't go into your mind. Mm-hmm. And it's creating that anxiety and you don't know how to deal with it. And on the end, we can go into not sleeping and having struggle to sleep, and we can talk about it as well.
So from what you're saying, I didn't know that it was holistic healing, but I agree with the approach of how you can maybe deter diseases by living a certain lifestyle. Yes. Do you also say that holistic healing can manage actual diseases when you have them? Let's say cancer. Can that happen?
That's a very good question. So I would look at it like this. Conventional medicine is very good for treating the acute chronic emergencies. Like if I get bitten by a snake, I'm not going to go to say to holistic, can we just slowly go through a herbal healing? No, you need to go to take the venom out. So I say it like if you have a rock in your shoe, you can take a painkiller to say, oh, I'm going to soothe my pain, or you're going to take that rock out. Two differences. When I have acute emergency, you need to go to the hospital. If I have imbalances, like something is wrong with me, I have gut bloating, issues that you don't know how to deal with, and you go to the doctor and they say, all the labs are fine, that's when you go to the functional medicine practitioner. And we start balancing all the pathways that they're not functioning very well. So I would say if you have a disease like a cancer, there is stages of cancer. So if it's a stage where you need conventional medicine, I highly encourage you to go and do that. Now, if we go back into the stages, and if it's a stage number 1, and you're, having positive outcome, you're combining conventional medicine with a herbalistic, naturopathic protocols. You're going to a workout, you're going for your prayers, meditations. You're actually in the nature, in an environment to ground yourself, to take the sun. You're looking at your deficiencies, the blood test, your vitamin D is good, your B12 is good, calcium, your cholesterol, and you're eating the way to heal yourself from within. Plus, if there is conventional medicine, then everyone is winning. Mm-hmm. So this is how I would say.
So, of course, as Casey has mentioned earlier, is that I am a huge believer in holistic healing. I know a lot of people who have treated themselves from a lot of diseases using holistic healing. And mainly the diseases that I find actually work with holistic healing are neurological disorders.
Yes.
Because of the stress levels and so on. But one thing that I was discussing with my mother the other day is, she goes like, Farah, like you are too much, you don't want to eat gluten, you don't want to eat this, you don't want to eat that. Like that is a lot. Yeah. But as well, because like she is very skeptical about that. She quite does not understand that both come hand in hand. What would you say to skeptics who do not believe the fact that, food and stress management both come hand in hand?
I would say try it and see, because the only way you can understand something is to do it for yourself and try it out. Because if you have an imbalance that is ruining your life, why you don't want to become better? That's my question. So I would say, what am I thinking why am I not wanting to become better? Why I don't want to try certain approaches? Because if you're in a struggle, I highly, really recommend you to research. Get to know different approaches so you can see what works for you. Functional medicine is a personalized medicine with a collaboration with a patient. So if you come to me, I don't give you a medication to take and go away. I work with you as a coach. I want to know, did you stress out yourself yesterday when you're driving back home, and how did you react it? I want to know, how are you thinking about certain, events in your triggers? So every person can trigger you, but it's about how do you manage your emotion? Do you overeat? Do you not eat? What is your coping mechanism of your emotion? Because what we subconsciously do, we're actually coping with certain things. So if I'm having anxiety, I will cope with a behavior that I'm not aware of. So when we're speaking about these things, you're not aware of your behaviors. So we are continuing to cope with overeating, sleeping, oversleeping, not doing anything because we don't see the point anymore. And that's where we need to go into neurological, understand how neurotransmitters work and what food is for our brain as well.
Interesting about the research there, and my question kind of follows on from Farah's, in that some people would say that it lacks scientific research. So how would you respond to that?
Beautiful. There's so many, and I can just give it to you. Now, the scientific research on what specifically? Because what are we looking at? So that's my question.
Well, naysayers would say, or that, so some of the skeptics would say it lacks scientific research, and that the treatment could take too longer, or takes a longer time than you might need.
I understand. Yeah, so I understand that because we're living in the era without patience, and you cannot cure something. I will give an example. If I'm a 35-year-old obese woman who has high cholesterol, high triglycerides, and I have high insulin, HbA1c, and I was eating all my life junk food, meaning over-fried food. I was, eating every single day, sweets and treats and cakes, and I like to bake, and I got overweight. My hormones got out of balance. I don't have period anymore as a woman, and I'm struggling with mental health. So my question is, in 20, 30 years of you doing that lifestyle, you expect a small little pill to manage all of that in 2 days. Let's just go back into our psychological mind and say, are you actually aware of how are you thinking then? Because we need to question ourselves. We need to question our every thought and keep them captive. Because our thoughts, we can become our thoughts. So I would question myself first. Am I actually doing everything right for my body? Or I'm doing everything that everyone else says? Because we need to listen to what our body is telling us. Your body was created first in the mother womb before your mind, your conscious mind. So your body was created, your heart beats by itself, doesn't it? It doesn't need medications for it. Your lungs are breathing by itself. You don't say to your lungs, hey lungs, can you please pump the oxygen inside so I can live? So our mind is connected so our subconscious mind is from mother's womb till 6 years old. We're collecting all the information into our body. And then your conscious starts forming on 6, 7 years old, and then till you get older. So you're actually having a set of programs in your mind that run your whole body and your behaviors. So if I don't become aware what are programs that serve me and what are programs that don't serve me, I will never be able to change.
Interesting, because I was having a conversation with my friends the other day, and we were talking about how PCOS has been very common between a lot of girls, and it's very everyone's like getting like, oh yeah, I got PCOS, I'm diagnosed with PCOS. So a lot of the times I've seen, I think, a doctor on TikTok say that it is actually, sorry, I don't want to say TikTok.
No, please go for it.
but I've seen a doctor on TikTok say that it is all, it goes back to childhood in a way and trauma in a way that you have created for yourself, whether it's childhood, or throughout your life, and that, if you heal that, you can heal PCOS. Is that true?
I love it.
Yes.
This is beautiful. I would like to connect that with lifestyle and trauma in the same time. So let's look at PCOS in general.
Okay.
So PCOS is just a label. Yeah, it's not diagnosis of you have PCOS and you need to live with that, because most of the times we believe that. PCOS has different pathways that are not working properly. Insulin resistance is one of them, meaning every time when you eat sugars or carbs, your insulin comes up and drops really low down, so you're craving sugar all the time. Second one is high androgen levels, which is high testosterone levels, which sometimes can be acne, sometimes can be like a little more hair on your face, more testosterone and lower estrogen. The next one is high inflammation and high oxidative stress in the body. Now, connecting the oxidative stress with a trauma, if our nervous system was affected with a trauma with specific parents, I'll give you two different options with the PCOS, what I see in my therapies with my clients. It's usually a mother wound or a father abandonment, emotional or mental. Now, I'll give you an example of a trauma. Child is playing with a toy, and the father comes and yells at mom, and he shuts the door and leaves the house. What the child does subconsciously? What would you say?
It gets shocked.
Cries.
And how?
I don't know.
Exactly. I stop breathing. I get into freeze, flight, and fight mode, which is sympathetic nervous system. You don't have thoughts to process it, but your body gets that information in the cells. Child doesn't know how to express with the words what just happened, but it felt. So the emotion or the energy in the motion goes into the nervous system and into cells in TCM, or traditional Chinese medicine, we call it meridians. And it gets stuck in a certain meridians and it blocks the energy. So the pathways of insulin high resistance starts coming with coping mechanism. So because I don't know how to express this, I'm gonna eat more. Or I'm gonna, crave certain things, I'm gonna eat sugar because it makes me feel better. So I suppress that.
So interesting. I am so sorry to cut this short because I know that we could go on for a few days.
Sure.
But we've come to the end of the show, unfortunately. So anyone watching right now, if you're interested, Jelena, let them know how they can get in touch with you.
Definitely can get in touch with me on Instagram, Jelena_Petelinkar, or Help to the Doorstep as well, YouTube and online platforms. So get in touch on Instagram and I will come back to you, and my team on Business WhatsApp as well, which is on Instagram.
Thank you so much for battling the weather and making it to the studio today. Guys, that brings us to the end of the Lovin Dubai show. We go live every weekday on Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, and of course on podcasts. That brings us to the end of the show. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye.